I can't complain at all.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. So, first of all, I just wanted to welcome to the aratradio.com. We've met before. It's always a blessing to speak with you. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Likewise, give thanks.
Blessings. So, lots of people will know of Kabaka Pyramid. But tell the listeners, why that name, how that name come about.
Well, I guess the short version is, as a Rasta youth, as a young Rasta youth who grew up in a post-colonial Jamaica, in a Christian family, transitioning into Rastafari, it was important to have a name that matched the current, So I literally, just went online looking up for African names, and I found Kabaka, which means king in Uganda.
Yeah.
And from I saw the name, it just resonated with me. And, the pyramid was coming from my early music days, but just always being fascinated and intrigued by the pyramids in Kemet, and just that, that spirituality there in that time, and the monuments that were left for us to see by, ancient black civilizations. And the pyramid just symbolized all of that for me. All of that, spanning the test of time and just remaining, So that's kind of how I want the music to remain,
Definitely. And, that's one thing about you, and kind of why I feel so connected with you as an artist, if I'm honest. You're very spiritual. You talk about the different realms of the physical and the spiritual. Tell us something about that.
I mean, where to begin? That could spark a 3-hour conversation.
True.
But, I mean, just over the years, I guess, on the journey, I've grown deeper into the knowledge. And the thing about it is, it's like a cyclical journey. Because there was a point where, you grow up in the church, you learn about Jesus and the Bible, and then, it just kind of goes around like that. So you get to understand that we are really spiritual beings, even different from, race, even different from these physical bodies that we're in.
Yeah.
We do love and cherish the bodies that we're in and the legacy of our ancestors. But at the end of the day, ultimately, we're really spiritual beings. Our home is really the entire cosmos.
Yeah.
But we have a small portion of our existence in these physical bodies, on this planet Earth. And, we basically have the opportunity to learn and grow within the context of physical reality. But there's a large part of our lifespan that's spent within the spiritual realms, but we don't necessarily carry that memory of it into each life physically,
For real. Well, that's what I kind of draw with you, because you're not just saying something to say it. And one of the tunes that you've recently released is called Believe. And for some reason, it feels like that's hit everybody, like it's become an anthem of yours. But tell us about the tune.
Yeah, it's been a really powerful one. Definitely as soon as I recorded the song, I knew that this have the potential to be one of those songs that everybody can relate to.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time you find that my music is more, like-minded ones like myself and the I will really resonate with the music on a level because of, the topics that I might touch and they might go over the average person's head.
Yeah.
But I knew once I recorded this song that it was one of those that I could see everybody relating to, from the young to the old, to the spiritual, to the religious, to the non-religious, you know what I mean? Just everybody. And that's kind of what it turned out to be. And the momentum is great with the song so far. It's still in the early days, but it's doing very well. Obviously we're talking about believing in yourself, and that being inspired by Marcus Garvey's words originally.
Yeah.
Without knowledge of self, you're twice defeated. Without believing in yourself, so that really, inspired the whole lyrics to the song. Big up to Tick God Music, who produced the song. We first featured it on the Immaculate Mixtape as the final track.
Yeah.
We felt it was very, very suitable to end the project with that song. So it's only people who listen to the project right to the end are gonna hear that song, and still, like a lot of people are saying, yo, that's their favorite song on the project, you know.
Definitely.
So you could tell from even before we officially released it that there was a vibes building around the song.
For real. And of course, I just want to big you up on the video as well, because the video for that tune is bad as well. For real.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. We start with Tip God and the team and worked out the concept, and you know, Studio 9 brought it to life and added some elements to the concept. And yeah, we definitely wanted something that would be inspiring to youths, because one of the main themes in the video is that creative expression is often not encouraged in schools. You know, so the teachers try to stop the youths from expressing themselves artistically, and you know, want them focus on books and book knowledge and things. But I really wanted, you know, the average youth to watch the video to know that, yeah, if you have a talent, pursue it, because you know, you can be able to manifest it if you really believe in yourself.
For real. And you know, Contraband as a whole went absolutely fantastic in my eyes anyway. The whole project just seemed fantastic. And then you did, you know, Immaculate, and it had Contraband 2 on there. But of course, tell us about the mixtape and how it kind of all come about.
Yeah. Well, you know, last year was a very interesting year for everybody, you know, including myself. And I had the opportunity, you know, being in quarantine, locked down certain way, to just record a bunch of music. And from then, you know, some of the songs were released, like Quarantine, Babylon Falling, Nice Up the Dance. You know, although that was recorded from like the previous year, but they put it out last year. And, you know, those singles were doing really well. Dreams to Reality was a nice one too. And kind of just touching on, you know, more of the fun side of the music as well as the message at the same time. And just diversifying the sound a bit. So what we found was that there was still this like crazy surplus of music that we had stored up that probably wouldn't have been considered for the next album that I'm working on with Damien. So we wanted an outlet for these songs. You know, some of them the producers were lining up and putting them out. And we're like, we could do a mixtape. And that's when we linked Max Glazer. And him was very interested to do it. Him have a rich history of doing mixtapes over the years. From Cartel days, come straight up to Chronic's mixtape. And from there, you know, I just sent him a bunch of songs. And, you know, he kind of made a track list and sent us back for feedback. And, you know, we took out some, added some, and, you know, we just, you know, he had a bag of ideas for interludes and exclusive stuff, the dub plates, the hip hop freestyle them, and you know, we just put it together and drop it a road, because we know say like we did really need to put out a project and cap off the year. And you know, great reception. You know, Definitely. The people really soak it up and appreciate of it. You know?
For real. You know, I want to know something about you. What made you use accurate as your little catchphrase? Because it sticks in your head, man.
Yo, to be honest, I don't even remember how it started, you know. Like, somebody asked me this the other day. And I couldn't, I was searching within my mind, and I can't remember the exact moment when it happened. I just know, say, it just became a thing, and it just took a life on its own, you know. And Immaculate was just a thing, so we did the Accurate mixtape, and then Immaculate was the perfect, you know, follow-up to it, so.
For real.
It was one of them things that where it just happened. I know, say, it must forward still, that, you know, that moment, but can't remember.
That's so good, man. And you know, one thing about you is you're fantastic at freestyling. But tell us, how does that kind of come about? Because some artists just can't do it. But how do you kind of go about doing it?
Yeah, it takes whole heap of practice. You know, for me, freestyling is a thing where you kind of have a flow that you can work with easily. It's almost like if you have a little structure to your freestyle, then it's just about filling in words and lines within that structure. Maybe some people overthink too much, and there has to be a point where when you freestyling, you just let go and just let the words come out. You know, but maybe people who, you know, overthink a lot, you know, maybe it's difficult for them because them want to have everything perfect. You have to be willing to make mistakes and say something where don't make no sense. You know, so you have to, you know, it's just a vibe still. It's just like learning to ride a bike or to swim, or you just have to give in after a while and it just start to happen and take a life of its own.
For real, for real. And, you know, earlier you mentioned about working with Junior Gong. I know yourselves must have had a deep conversation about the times now. Is there anything you can share with the listeners that will either encourage or uplift them that you guys have spoken of?
I mean, you know, me and Gang have whole heap of reason still.
True.
You know, whole heap of reason. And him is the man where so when me and Gang reason, him is like, him almost love to play the devil's advocate role. Where I will forward it all of the things them where you might put in at the conspiracy category. You know, but you know, obviously I'm coming with logic and rationale behind it. And then him is like, yeah, but you know, if so and so, then why so and so, you know? And him kind of coming with that, you know, that scientific mind, but at the same time, him just testing you to see if you really know what you're talking, because he's a spiritual person at the same time. You know, so that's the kind of reasoning them with, that's the kind of dynamic we have when we reason a lot. But I mean, just, you know, we just have to be safe. We just have to, you know, understand that we're in a time that's dominated by like capitalism. And a lot of what's happening now comes down to money. You know, so we have to kind of reclaim our own lives and can't just give in to everything that's happening, everything that we see on TV, because everything kind of has a soul of itself, and the soul of these things they seek to expand, and they seek to draw people in. So you know, the vaccines have a soul. You know, like diseases have a soul. You know, all of these things, they call them egregores. These are the ideas that surround the thing, and the more we put conscious attention to it, is the more we feed into it, and the more it expands, and the more it starts to dominate our lives. So, you know, when it comes to certain things that's not good for you, you really just have to ignore it, and you have to develop you know, an ability to kind of distance yourself from things without overly, you know, with, you know, like putting yourself in awkward positions just to avoid stuff. It's almost like, you know, whatever happens, you won't let it bother you. And once you start to develop that, you know, through practices like meditation and certain things, that allows you to create this kind of arm's length that you can have to all these things that's happening, and you just live your life, you know.
For real. And you know, one of the newest projects that have come out as well, the Victory Rock Rhythm. Tell us something about that and kind of how it all kind of came about.
Yes, I'm very excited about this project. It's my first project, you know, as a juggling rhythm, as a producer like that. You know, I've done production over the years, you know, for myself and others like Corafire and, you know, My Time on the album and All I Need on the album, couple songs over the years. But this is the first project where I'm like working with a bunch of artists and putting out an entire project that I produce or co-produce, because my co-producer Genius from out of Barcelona helped me out a lot with this rhythm, and you know, my musicians in my band played on the rhythm. And definitely just wanted to get as many artists that I could on the rhythm, because I wanted to step out as a producer, like, you know, with a respectable lineup, but still giving opportunity to some young artists. So, you know, we have Alain on the rhythm, D Major, Bugle, that's already out. We have Romain Virgo, Chris Martin, Gentleman, Ayas from Virgin Islands, Natalie Rise, Minori, Analia Brown, whole heap of artists, Pressure Bus Pipe, you know, Stone Boy out of Ghana. So it's a very big project. So what we're doing is just releasing it in stages so that we don't bombard the DJs with too many songs at once, you know, releasing it over a period of a month. So, you know, they'll get another 5 songs really soon, and then we'll conclude everything on March 26th with the full juggling.
For real, I'm ready for it, man.
You know,
send them over.
Sweet Man Drop is a singer's a singer's project. You know, I didn't even record on it myself.
Wow.
You know, because I felt like it was really for those sweet singers to kind of do their thing, and I'm really happy with the project. Some really solid songs.
Definitely. And you know, who inspires you, Kabaka?
Only for people, right? I mean, definitely for the Rastafari I tried, it was Sizzla music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's really what triggered the change in my life and the whole transition.
Yeah.
You know, and from then, you know, others like Capleton, Buju, you know, Damian Marley, Steve Marley, you know, a lot of these artists really provide a form of the blueprint where, you know, where we utilize for the music. And, you know, I've been inspired by hip-hop artists too, Wu-Tang Clan, you know, Nas, Mos Def, Common, Black Thought, you know, The Roots, Gangstar, all of these artists over the years have inspired me too. So that's where some of the lyricism comes from and the hip-hop flavor sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely a whole heap of inspiration, you know, a whole heap of ones out there, you know. You know, His Imperial Majesty inspire me every day.
Yeah.
You know, on a level, just on the spiritual journey. So
yeah, for real. You know, I really wanted to ask you about this because you probably heard loads of different stories, but it's always interesting to hear your kind of point of view. And it's just about the authenticity of, I suppose, the music and Rasta, because, you know, there's been questions, as you probably heard, of it swaying either, you know, I've even heard the likes of yourselves and Chronixx being criticised, you know, for using hip-hop beats. And then, you know, we had the controversy of Phantom Moja, you know, going to dancehall and all these other things. And I wanted to know your opinion and what you thought about it.
Yeah, I mean,
that was a big sign.
It's a very tricky one because, you know, obviously Rastafari is a thing that's very symbolic to people. You know, Rastafari has been defined by the actions of ones over the years. And once you start to go away from what is commonly accepted as Rasta, then you're going to get criticized for it. You know, for me, it really comes down to everyone. At the end of the day, everyone have to face up to my art, you know, and them own judgment. Everyone have to be judged according to their own intentions. And you know, there is an aspect that will always be there because Rastafari, there's an idea around Rastafari. And that idea is what shapes a lot of us and our mentality and our approach towards life. So, you know, the idea will be viewed from many different eyes and many different lenses in different ways. But really and truly, what ultimately matters is how you view that idea. Do you identify with that idea? What aspects of it do you identify with? Because for everybody, it's going to be different. You know, you have some people where, you know, they might think that His Majesty is a divine being. You have some who said His Majesty is God. You have some who say you're supposed to eat, you know, only ital, while some people say you can eat fish or you can eat anything. Some say you have to have locks. Some say you don't have to have locks. You know, so it really comes down to what is your interpretation of Rasta and do you identify with it? Or is it a thing where people just calling you Rasta because of certain things where they perceive? So I feel like a lot of artists out there who kind of have the Rasta image and the Rasta culture, maybe if you ask them probably don't really identify as Ras. You know, if you really ask them and have a real one-on-one conversation with them. So then I now go hold them accountable to certain things that I know that Rasta's supposed to be. But I can only really speak for myself, and yeah, certain things let we down still. I have a hide and talk, certain things let we down. But at the end of the day, you know, even Phantom Moja is one of them bridging the way you're there on him, you're gonna get beer joke. You know, them and they wear the tightest pants and call themselves sexy Ras. So when I see him video, I wasn't that surprised. I say, boy, the man take it far still. You know, but it kind of shows the signs at the times what people willing to do for get attention, you know.
For real. So what's next for you? What have you got? I know you've got so much coming out, so much happening, but what's next on your itinerary, I suppose?
Well, definitely. The second album is what my main focus is. You know, the
Okay.
juggling is already underway, so we still have songs to release and to finish up. You know, releasing the juggling and pushing all the songs. I want to get more into production as well, different from my own album and artistry.
Yeah.
You know, definitely want to do more juggling projects and singles as well, and kind of, you know, just contribute to the genre, contribute to the culture, because I feel like juggling rhythms is very important for the culture. It's very important, especially for young artists. You know what I mean? To get on rhythms with bigger artists where them have a chance to get heard. You know, within the context of a rhythm where I gotta get played. So, you know, I feel like that's important. But yeah, the next album, I have other projects working on and other ideas of things to do outside of music too, but not anything I'm ready to announce.
Yeah.
You know, but definitely I always want to keep active within the community, you know, giving back to the community and setting up initiatives for self-sustainable development. And yeah, these are the type of things where we talk about and what we look to do.
Definitely. And, you know, what would you like to say to the fans of Kabaka Pyramid that are locking in? What would you like to say?
Yeah, well, just, you know, stay healthy, stay safe, you know, eat right.
Yeah.
Go and listen to some good music, support good artists, because you have a whole heap of people ready to support artists who are deal with certain slackness and are deal with certain negativity. So we need the forces of the ones them to support the artists who are doing positive things. From the music is good and the music feel good and sound good, support it, post it, like it, share it, comment on it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if we really want to balance out the thing, we have to be soldiers for the music too and for righteousness and really represent the thing that way. So, you know.
Yeah, man, for real.
You know?
You know, I can't have Kabaka Pyramid without asking him to do a little something. Whatever you want to do, either include my name or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, man, for sure, man. I'm Mr. DJKat representing, you don't know, Kabaka Pyramid to the fullest. Now wait for nobody for tell me say me great. Now wait for nobody for open up your gate. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in myself. Now wait for nobody for give me motivation. Can't have to make it out the sticky situation. Have to believe in myself. Have to believe in yourself. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man.
Hey. You know what, Kabaka, I appreciate you, you know, all the music, all the content, everything you're doing. And, you know, I love the conscious vibes and it's so positive to see. And as you know, I've been a fan of yours for a long time and I thank you for the interview and thank you to Ronnie as well for setting it up. It's a blessing.
Yeah, man, bless up Ronnie, bless up the whole team and big up yourself. Keep up the good works.
Same to you. Have a good rest of the time. I know you got loads of interviews to get through.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, man, for real. Hope you have a good rest of the day still.
Yeah, man, appreciate love.
Blessings, yeah? Bless up. Bless.